Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about how to take that classic betta fish bowl and completely transform it. The goal here isn't just a container for a fish, it's to build a thriving, low-tech planted ecosystem. A stunning little home that keeps your betta happy and healthy, all without any crazy complicated gear.
And this right here is the core idea we're working with today. It's all about shifting your mindset. We're not just housing a fish. We are creating a miniature, self-sustaining world. This simple change in perspective, it makes all the difference.
So first up, we have to tackle the big myth. For decades, betta bowls have gotten a really bad reputation. And honestly, for good reason. The tiny traditional setup is something we really need to leave in the past. This slide really gets to the heart of it. For so many years, the myth that a tiny cup of water is perfectly fine has led to a lot of unhealthy, stressed-out fish. But the truth is, bettas are active, intelligent little creatures. They need space to swim around and explore, they need places to hide, and they absolutely thrive in the stability that only a real, planted environment can give them. This isn't about making it fancy, it's about providing the absolute essentials for their well-being. All right, with that myth totally busted, let's start building. The foundation of any strong ecosystem really begins with two fundamental choices: the container you use and what you decide to put on the bottom of it. Let's talk size, because this is critical. You're aiming for a bare minimum of 2 to 3 gallons, that's about 8 to 12 liters. But here's a key tip. It's not just about the volume. A vessel that's wider than it is tall is so much better. Why? Because betta swim side to side, so that horizontal real estate is way more valuable to them than deep water. Next up is the substrate. And no, this is not just decorative gravel. Think of it as the engine room for your plants. You've got two great low-tech options. First, you can use a nutrient-rich aqua soil with a cup of sand on top, which keeps the water clear and constantly feeds your plant roots. Or if you want a cleaner look, you can just use plain sand and then stick these little nutrient root tabs right under your plants. It's a much more targeted way of feeding them. And we cannot forget the most important element of all: the water. It absolutely positively must be dechlorinated. You can just use a simple water conditioner. And temperature is key. Bettas are tropical fish, so you want to keep that water stable, right around 25 to 27 degrees Celsius. That's about 78 to 80 Fahrenheit. In a small system like this, stability is everything. Now we get to the fun part, the heart of our ecosystem, the plants. And these are so much more than just pretty decorations. They are the functional, living, breathing filtration system that makes this entire low-tech setup actually work. So you'll want to pick plants that are hardy and don't need a ton of light or any CO2 injections. Anubias and Java fern are fantastic because you can attach them to wood or rocks. Cryptocoreans are wonderful rooted plants. Java moss can create this beautiful natural carpet, and floating plants like frogbit are great for providing a little shade from above. Now, planting them is pretty straightforward. First, give everything a good rinse and snip off any dead or dying leaves. For plants like Anubias and Java fern, you'll want to attach them to a piece of driftwood or a rock. Whatever you do, don't bury their base. For the rooted plants like Crypts, you gently place them into the substrate, but make sure you don't bury the crown where the leaves sprout from. And finally, just arrange everything so you leave some open highways for your betta to swim through. And this slide right here, this explains the magic of how it all works. Your fish produces waste, which creates nitrates. In a normal bowl, that becomes toxic fast. But in our ecosystem, the plants use those nitrates as food. They literally eat the waste, which cleans the water, and they release oxygen in return. It's this perfect, self-sustaining little cycle. Okay, the stage is set and our tiny jungle is all planted. Now it's finally time for the star of the show. But introducing your betta the right way is a super crucial step to make sure it's a smooth, stress-free move. But wait, don't add your fish right away. You need to let that bowl sit for 2 or 3 days. This gives the water chemistry a chance to stabilize, the substrate can settle, and any cloudiness will clear up. A little bit of patience here goes a very, very long way. Acclimation is all about preventing shock. So first, float the bag or the cup your betta came in on the surface of the new water for about 15 minutes. This just gets the temperatures to match. Then, over the next 20 minutes, slowly add a little bit of the new water into its cup every 5 minutes or so. This gets it used to the new water chemistry. And finally, you can gently release your betta into its amazing new home. For this first week, here is the most important thing to remember. Go easy on the food. Your ecosystem is still brand new and finding its balance. Overfeeding is the absolute fastest way to cause a big problem in a small tank.
Just stick to tiny portions once a day and you'll be golden.
Okay, the bowl is set up, the fish is happy and exploring, but we're not done yet. The final piece of this puzzle is just understanding the simple, long-term maintenance that's going to keep this little ecosystem in perfect harmony.
So, how do you make sure this beautiful little world stays beautiful? Well, it's actually much simpler than you might think. It really all just comes down to a simple weekly routine. Once a week, you're going to perform a small water change, maybe 20 to 30%. While you're at it, you can use a siphon to suck out any visible fish waste or gunk on the substrate. Give your plants a little trim if they're looking overgrown, and always make sure the new water you add is dechlorinated and matches the temperature of the bowl. And that's pretty much it. The name of the game here is balance. Remember to keep the stocking minimal. The setup is designed for one betta. You could maybe add a snail or a few shrimp. If you see a little bit of algae, don't panic, it's normal. Just reduce your light to about 6 to 8 hours a day. And only add a tiny, like a quarter dose of liquid fertilizer if your plants really look like they need a boost. And that brings us to the final thought. By following these steps, you've done way more than just create a nice home for a pet. You've become the architect of a miniature living world. It kind of reframes the whole experience, doesn't it? It really challenges us to ask, are we just pet keepers or are we ecosystem builders?